What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Pretty fun weekend overall, I'd say. There was a lot of stuff that happened at TGS, or Tokyo Game Show, and then more information came out about Doom, and then we had some really odd crossover partnership with Sonic and Hooters. That's right, I said Sonic and Hooters. So let's get started today. Now we're going to start with Doom, first of all, with the resolution that has now been confirmed by a Bethesda spokesperson, mostly because some incorrect information is kind of going around right now with the internet, mostly because I think people misunderstood what Digital Foundry was trying to say in their video. What they were saying was technically correct around 540p being a resolution that can be achieved by the system if it's needed, but that's not the resolution it shoots for. So a lot of people saw 540p, take it as the system is going to run Doom at 540p, no questions asked. That's not the case, though, and a Bethesda spokesperson kind of set the record straight to Rolling Stone through Glixel. Now, after really talking to Bethesda, it looks like Glixel and Rolling Stone reached back out to them, in which they responded saying that the resolution with the Switch is 720p, whether it's docked or in handheld mode. Now, this is interesting because what's more than likely going to happen here, you may be asking, well, I thought it was stronger when it's docked. That's correct. It is stronger when it's docked, but what you're seeing here is a dynamic resolution that will move around. It'll jump around depending on the resolution that's needed. So when it's docked, it will more than likely stay at 720p or closer to 720p than when it's in handheld mode. It has that advantage when it's in handheld mode that you really aren't going to notice differences in resolution as easily as you will on something like a 60-inch TV, obviously. You'll be able to point it out easier there than when it's on the 6.3-inch screen. Now, it absolutely could dynamically scale to 540p. That's not out of question, obviously. More than likely, it'll stick somewhere in the 600s, and then 720p when not a lot of stuff is happening. I think that is completely expected here with the Switch. A lot of people saw 540p with Digital Foundry. More than likely, they were quoting the bottom resolution that it could drop to, and we're talking about that. People take it, they run with it. Not the case. 720p when it's docked, more than likely, it's going to be scalable resolution all over the place, dynamic scaling, so it could be random resolutions that we don't even know of. Of course, Digital Foundry will run their entire analysis that they do, and we'll find out all the crazy stuff, all the crazy resolutions the Switch is jumping around to, and how often it's staying at 720p. But no, it's not targeting 540p. 720p when docked, all of its dynamic scaling, so it could be really all over the place for all we know until it comes out and there is some kind of analysis done to it. And then we also had two previews to trailers, kind of. They're announcements for more information, essentially. So we know Red Dead Redemption 2 was pushed to next year. Disappointing to many, including myself, but we do get apparently a new trailer later on this week. That will be the 28th, so that's Thursday. Apparently a new trailer is going to go up at 11 a.m. Eastern time. What is it going to be? I don't know. I assume it has nothing to do with PC or Switch. I think it's mostly going to be a story trailer, probably show off some actual gameplay rather than just cinematic stills or cinematics in general that we were pulling images from to check out how it looks. More than likely, it'll be actual gameplay with story information, things like that to set up their eventual release next year. I'm sure we'll still get more information between then and when it comes out, but this is going to be kind of the beginning to really, I think, telling the plot. Could there be a PC announcement? Sure. Would there be a Switch announcement? No, I don't think so. I don't think that's on Rockstar's radar right now. If they have to push it back to 2018 and they're just trying to get it on the PS4 and Xbox One as we know of now, they just need to get this game ready to go by then, because I have a feeling Grand Theft Auto 6 is also being worked on in the background, and those two games together have to be taking up a lot of their time. So I wouldn't expect any new announcements with systems, just information about the story and probably gameplay visuals, things like that. However, the other announcement has to do with the Switch. If you are really looking forward to Shin Megami Tensei, like a lot of us are right now, we're trying to figure out what is it going to be. Is it going to be like the old school ones? Is it some new idea that they've come up with? Something here? I mean, it's being apparently run, as far as we can tell, on Unreal Engine 4, and it looks like it's going to be a callback to the old school Shin Megami games. Awesome, but we know nothing about it. Well, apparently that's going to change on October 23rd. So, yeah, a month from now, we will know more information, whether it's a trailer, a solid release date, just anything about it. Really, we don't even really know what the in-game visuals are going to look like or how it's going to play. Nothing. But October 23rd, that should change. So set your calendars. Make sure you're ready. I don't know if it's going to be a trailer or a stream. I'm hoping it's a stream because that could be pretty fun to watch. But if it's a trailer, we'll get more information. I'll let you guys know here probably the next day. Next up, let's talk about one of the strangest promotions I've seen in a while. No one expected this one, and that's apparently in the lead up to Sonic Forces. Sega decided to, well, call on Hooters. And they're going to have an entire crossover promotion with the Hooters brand restaurants in Japan. And of course, it seems odd at first, but as many people have now pointed out, yeah, I mean, the demographic for Sonic has gotten older really throughout the years of it existing, and I guess it could help. I mean, I guess it won't hurt any. I don't really know if Hooters could actually damage Sonic's brand. I doubt it, because Sonic really hasn't been viewed as a cartoon character similar to, say, Mario in quite a while. I think Sonic has been viewed as more of a mature, as weird as that sounds, more of a mature IP recently. And going into Sonic Forces, I think it is a lot of people who are much older, who maybe were younger when the 16-bit Sonic was out, and now they're in their, their late 20s, early 30s, and yeah, sure, why not? I guess Sonic Forces and Hooters. Now, apparently they're just going to decorate the Hooters restaurants in Japan. Nothing about it coming over here to the US. I don't think they would do that here. Sonic, I believe, is more popular in Japan than it is here, more recognizable anyway. So it's going to be interesting to see. As far as I know, they're just decorating the restaurants. Nothing else is really happening. It's just a little odd to see Sonic posing next to Hooters waitresses, but I guess. Next up, let's continue with TGS for a second here, because we had a long stream by Capcom the other night that really disappointed many Mega Man fans. I'm not even kidding. So many Mega Man fans were really disappointed here, because what happened was we were getting, just out of nowhere, Capcom said, hey, we're going to do a Mega Man 30th anniversary stream. What do you think most people thought? Okay, maybe a new game's getting announced. Maybe Capcom is realizing, hey, we have Mega Man all to ourselves. Maybe we should do something with that. You would figure a new game, something, right? No, come on, guys. A new Mega Man game? That wouldn't sell anything. No. You know what they had to announce instead? A life-size Mega Man plush for $300, because that'll fly off shelves. So yeah, most of the panel was spent, I guess, just talking about Mega Man, and then they show us this plush. Cool, it's $300 on Amazon Japan. It's in December, late December, December 24th it's going to release, so that's going to be Christmas Eve, which is, again, weird, but still, it's coming out in Japan, $300, no other information. So it tells me that Capcom, I don't even know what they're doing with Mega Man at this point. You figure, you make a Mega Man game, right? All right, look, they're doing the Legacy collections. Okay, it's Capcom being Capcom with their ports, where they keep porting ports of ports and more ports on top of those ports. That's what they're doing right now, and I get it. It's easy money for them, right? They can just keep putting the same games out because we keep buying them for different systems. And I would love to see them take a chance with this franchise. I know they got rid of Mega Man Legends 3. I don't expect them to bring it back ever, but if they're not going to do anything with Mega Man themselves, at least find a company that could make a game with you, right? I mean, they included it in Smash Bros, and we saw the reaction. My gosh, the reaction was out of control. People were going nuts just because Mega Man was going to be in Smash Brothers. That was it. Like, there was no new Mega Man game. He was just being included as a character in another game that's a fighting game. Nothing about a new platform or anything. So if Capcom found another company, let's say they found Retro Studios, right? And they were like, "Hey, would you guys like to make a Mega Man game?" I've seen what they've done with Donkey Kong at this point. Yeah, make a Mega Man game. There's so many ways they could actually include Mega Man in this generation if they wanted to, but it just shows me at this point that with that, Mega Man's merchandising at this point to them, and it's kind of sad from where the Blue Bomber was back in the 90s to where he is now. It's a shame to look at. It's tough to watch. So, I don't know, Capcom, go find a company that'll do something with it, or you know what? Sell it off to a company that will really embrace Mega Man. I think Sony or Nintendo. Nintendo would probably be number one to me, and then honestly, Sony would be number two. Either of those companies will embrace Mega Man, and they will put out actual games for him. So you know what, Capcom? Put up or shut up at this point. Earlier in that night, though, we were treated to some footage for Resident Evil Revelations on the Switch. We also saw Resident Evil 7 at the time that kind of showed us the new Not Hero DLC that was coming out with Chris Redfield, which looked pretty cool. Kind of went into first-person mode, and you're running around as Chris Redfield. Kind of neat overall. Looks like it's going to be a fun DLC. But a lot of people wanted to see the performance of Resident Evil Revelations. Whenever you hear about a Switch game, we always want to see performance, right? It performed well, kind of. I'm going to explain to you what I mean. Okay, so the actual game looked good. It seemed to run at 60 frames per second. Of course, I'm watching it over a stream, so it can be kind of hard to tell the resolution or how it actually looks since streams can change bit rates and stuff on the fly. Overall, it looked like it was running fine. As you would expect it, it's a game that was on the 3DS. But overall, Revelations 1 was on full effect. And then, of course, they jump over to the motion controls. and it didn't work well. So I loved the idea when I first heard about it, right? You use the IR sensor to reload, you do actual gyro motion control aiming, but when they showed it on stage, it didn't go so well. It really didn't. It was behind when they were using it. The reload was way behind. They would reload to the reload motion a couple times, and then it would work. I will tell you this, though. A lot of times when we see these stage presentations, they don't always go well. We just saw it recently with the new iPhone. Remember when they were trying to do the face recognition technology where it unlocks, and they had to do it a couple times just to get it to work once, so it was fighting them the entire time? We saw it with the Kinect. Remember the Kinect when they were doing that? And it was just it was seriously a train wreck to watch them try to get the Kinect to work on stage. A lot of times, especially what they started doing recently, they script these events. So what you're seeing on screen is not the person on stage actually playing the game. A lot of times it's scripted in a way that they pretend to play the game and they know to act out certain parts at certain times, and sometimes they're even cued from teleprompters or people that are kind of near the audience to what to do. And sometimes their timing is off. Now, it's not all the time, but I have seen it. And other times, if you're on God mode, of course, you don't die and, you know, look like an idiot on camera there. But most times they script it out now because of all of the issues we've had. There's a chance that was completely scripted and the person was behind. There's also a chance it doesn't work well at all. We'll find that out when it comes out, of course, because I'll get a copy here and we'll play it. And we'll see if it is a game that is good for motion controls, or, you know what, just get the Joy-Con or the Pro Controller and enjoy it that way. Next up, let's talk about Evil Within 2. Looks like a great horror game. The first one was okay. Had some performance issues on the PS4. I remember this. PS4 Pro patch came out. Works much better. But overall, the game was pretty good. I thought it was okay as a horror game, and I'm not really into them, so I'm probably not the best judge of horror games, but the Evil Within 2 is looking a little better. And what's interesting here is really the creator, Shin Megami, wants to try to bring it to the Switch if it's in the cards. Now, this was in an interview with GameSpot saying, I think a Switch version would be interesting. I'd like to try it if I had the chance. First, I'd like to buy a Switch myself. I had to borrow Zelda with the Switch from another staff member to play it. First of all, Nintendo, if some of these developers that are fans of the Switch would like to make a game for the Switch and you want to get them on board, get them a Switch, right? I mean, we just watched GameStop really announce that they're going to give away Switches to all of these people who are going out to their big like party GameStop gathering that they do sometimes in Las Vegas. They're just giving them out to managers. Like, Nintendo, you need to get some of these. Like, how does the Final Fantasy 15 creator, Mr. Tabata, not have one of these, right? How does he not have one? And now we hear that Shinji Mikami, the creator of Evil Within 2, does not have one either. Would I like to see it on the Switch? Absolutely. I think any of these games that can be portable should be portable. So yes, I would love to see it on the Switch. It's just an extra, game to have on the system. And I love to see the challenge that they go through to put it on a system that has a low-powered chip when compared really to their competitors with these massively powerful systems. It's really funny sometimes to see that game get moved over to a system that punches way above its weight class. And that's it for Newswave today, guys. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me think about any of the stuff we talked about today, whether it is Sonic Forces and the Hooters crossover. Did that catch you off guard when you heard about it, or is this the first time you've heard about it? If so, let me know what your initial reaction was when you heard me talk about it down in the comments. I'm sure you'll have a good time with that one. Also, let me know what you think of the Mega Man stream with Capcom. I mean, is this it? Is Capcom just not really care about Mega Man in 2017? Are they content at this point reviving the old games over and over and over again in collections, doing merchandising for him in Japan occasionally when they get the time to, right? When they're not busy with Marvel vs. Capcom and, Street Fighter, and they put out a nice big plush of Mega Man. Maybe X is up next, and maybe there'll be a big plush with Zero. It's frustrating to say the least. I'm a very big Mega Man fan. I would love to see something new, something maybe even hand-drawn. A 2D hand-drawn Mega Man game would be awesome. That's it for now, guys. I'll see you next time.